But yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the patch or the upcoming civs. I've been away. I've been away for a couple of weeks, New Zealand, visiting family. As you can tell, I live down under. I live in Australia, but all my family are in New Zealand. So I've just been keeping touch with the game, of course, keeping touch with the narrative of um, the expansion coming out and the new civs, the Three Kingdoms. And man, I was so surprised. So much negative opinion. What's going on? What's with the negative opinion? Uh, I think it's great. First of all, you're starting off in China. It's an underloved region of the franchise so far. Yes, you've got Chinese, you've got Koreans, you've got Vietnamese. Like, Asia is definitely represented. That's not a problem. But just like India, the Indian civ that got split out, obviously, Chinese are the next one for that to happen. And I know they don't get split out. Chinese still exist, but to have more representation in the Chinese kind of area, absolutely love that. No problem with it. Some people were complaining on historical accuracy and, the Three Kingdoms were far behind the timeline of other civs in the game. I'm just not buying it. Like, I'm not buying it. Like, we got Rome now. We have the Huns. We've got the Goths. They're all like not necessarily fitting with the Franks or the Burgundians or, the timeline's all over the place. That's not a concern for me at all. Um, so I don't understand the criticism because I also think that the Civ designs they seem pretty good. The other thing was the heroes. People are annoyed at heroes. Um, we have the Roman unit that acts as a leader as well. Yeah, Coach says there's three Italian says Romans, Byzantines, which they're like Roman adjacent, Eastern Roman Empire, and then obviously Italians. So they're very well represented, aren't they? So why not give China some love? But the hero units, God, that is so cool. Like, I don't know how people could be mad at that. It just adds a whole new component to the game. And personally, if I'm looking forward, I get it. It doesn't quite make sense to have the Three Kingdoms civs, to have hero units, and the other civs not to have hero units. But do you know what that means? In my opinion, this is my opinion. This is me speculating. That means they're going to introduce hero units for the other civs. And I don't see that being talked about at all in the commentary, in the narrative. Because why would they just give them to the Divine Kingdoms? Over time, in my opinion, they're going to give hero units to other civs. Gravely says that I think it's a test. They're going to see how it goes, and if it goes well, or they do the balance adjustments, then I think they'll give them to the other civs. And it just adds another component to the game. You want your game to get more and more complex over time, because the competitive scene in this game is so strong, right? Like it thrives on the competitive scene. You got Hero, you got Viper, you've got Tato, you've got Doubt. It's based on those guys that the game has survived all this time. Bowles. I wouldn't put Bowles in the same kind of tier. He's obviously very good. But yeah. But that's a fair point, actually. The tier 2 players, you've got the tier 1 who are amazing. And I think you could put Bowles in tier 1, actually. But, but going down to the second tier, also super competitive. They keep the game alive. And if you give them more and more tools to pull off amazing plays or, just do something crazy with it, and have like a clip related to it and find new ways to beat the game and beat other players in interesting ways, that's only good for the game. That's like, how can that be bad? Because I think about other competitive games. So I come from Dota, which is like League of Legends, right? And that game has only got more and more complex over time. And the reason why it's got more and more complex is because of the pro scene, and the player base thrives off the success of the pro scene, in my opinion. I feel like they might be doing the same kind of approach here. If you've got a competitive game, you need it to have iterations along the way of getting more complex and more competitive. So, my opinion, that nobody asked for. Nobody asked for my opinion, of course, but I think it's incredible. And the pre-sales also say that. So I know Viper and the manager of GL, I think it is, they had a podcast and they were talking about the pre-sales, and it's skyrocketed. So the player base, at least with their money, are saying that they would like this. And it's bringing the Chinese scene back into the game. It's a huge market. So, I'm actually very positive about it. So